At the beginning of the film, viewers are immediately shown a vast desert landscape in the Francisco area. In that hot and barren place, a scientist named Ellie is busy searching for a rare plant that she will use for her research. She has been exploring the area for days, but the plant she's looking for still hasn't been found. Even so, Ellie continues her search patiently. Elsewhere, there is a man named Guillermo who is burying someone's body that he had previously killed. Guillermo turns out to be a notoriously ruthless loan shark. He doesn't hesitate to kill anyone who can't pay their debt to him. After finishing his business, Guillermo receives an order from his boss to pick up a package of drugs that will arrive through the airport. The next day, Ellie continues her search for the plant in the desert. Even though the weather is extremely hot, she doesn't give up. Not long after, a girl named Alex shows up, curious about what Ellie is doing there. After Ellie explains her research, Alex seems interested and invites Ellie to go somewhere nearby. A while later, Ellie asks Alex to go home because she is also heading back to the rented house where she's staying. Before leaving, Ellie takes a moment to enjoy the quiet desert atmosphere while remembering her dark past. She recalls the incident when her younger sibling died after she gave them a ride and ran a red light. On the other side, Guillermo starts preparing a signal for the plane pilot who will be arriving. Meanwhile, Ellie is on her way back home. But suddenly, her attention is drawn when she sees a plane crash not far from where she is. Out of curiosity, Ellie immediately approaches the crash site to check whether the pilot is still alive or not. But instead of getting a reassuring answer, she ends up in a dangerous situation. The pilot suddenly points a gun at her, making Ellie panic and try to run away. Unfortunately, she fails to escape. Ellie is caught and forced to help the pilot. The pilot asks her to take him to a place called Salton Sea, which turns out to be very far from their current location. Under threat, Ellie has no choice but to comply. She tries to stay calm because even the slightest mistake could cost her life.
I know this desert. I can take you to the Salton Sea.
Get it.
Meanwhile, Guillermo starts to feel confused because the plane he's been waiting for hasn't arrived yet. He then contacts his boss to make sure whether the plane has already departed or not. His boss says that the plane left a long time ago. Hearing that, Guillermo immediately becomes suspicious. He quickly sets out to find the plane. In the middle of the journey to Salton Sea, Ellie tries to talk to the pilot. She says that she will leave as soon as they reach their destination, but the pilot stays silent and doesn't give any answer. Not long after, the car they're using suddenly slips on a slick road. The situation makes the pilot, Tomas, even more panicked. Tomas knows that if the package he's carrying doesn't arrive soon, his life could be in danger. At that moment, Ellie secretly tries to grab a knife. She plans to use it as a chance to escape. After a while, Tomas asks Ellie to continue the journey, but they are forced to walk because the car they were using can no longer be used. That makes Ellie object, since the distance they still have to cover is very far. Even so, she still has to follow Tomas's orders.
Okay. Load them.
The next morning, they finally arrive at a place to rest. Meanwhile, Guillermo still doesn't know where the plane and the pilot are. Ellie then asks for permission to rest for a while. Tomas agrees because he is also very exhausted after walking a long distance. When Tomas goes to relieve himself, Ellie tries to use that moment to escape. She runs as fast as she can, hoping to get out of that dangerous situation, but Tomas quickly realizes it and chases after her. Unfortunately, Ellie gets caught again. To prevent her from trying to escape again, Tomas immediately ties her hands before they continue their journey. Elsewhere, there is a sheriff named Jose, who turns out to be Alex's father. While on patrol, Jose sees Alex not wearing a helmet. He immediately scolds his daughter because it's very dangerous if an accident happens. Jose then tells Alex to go home right away. But not long after that, Jose receives news that Ellie has gone missing. Hearing that, Alex tells her father that she had met Ellie earlier. Alex then takes Jose to the last place where they met.
The plane's right around there.
Oh, you're gonna go to school. And you're going directly to school.
Meanwhile, Guillermo finally finds the wreckage of the crashed plane. But when he checks the crash site, there is no one there. The drug package that was supposed to be carried by the plane is also gone. That makes Guillermo think that the pilot tried to run off with the package. Because of that, Guillermo immediately starts searching for where the pilot went. Elsewhere, the pilot and Ellie look very exhausted after walking for quite a long time. Tomas's injured leg makes his steps even heavier. He looks like he's struggling to keep going. Seeing that, Ellie suggests they stop for a while. According to her, forcing it would only make their situation more dangerous. But Tomas says he has no other choice. He has to keep going. If the package he's carrying doesn't reach Guillermo, his boss won't hesitate to kill him. Meanwhile, in another place, Guillermo finally finds Ellie's car. While he's checking the area around the car, two men suddenly approach him. They ask what Guillermo is doing there. Guillermo answers casually so the two men don't get suspicious. At first, the situation seems normal, but when the two men are about to leave, Guillermo suddenly attacks and kills them. He doesn't want them reporting anything to the police. After that incident, Guillermo starts following the footprints of Ellie and the pilot that are visible on the ground. Not long after, Jose also arrives at the location of Ellie's car. He is immediately shocked when he sees two men lying there lifeless. Jose quickly tries to report the incident to his office. Unfortunately, the signal in that area is very bad, so he can't contact anyone. In the end, Jose decides to try to find the person responsible on his own. At the same time, Guillermo sees Jose getting closer to him. He immediately prepares for the worst. Not long after, the two of them get into a shootout. Unfortunately, during the fight, Jose slips and falls into a ravine. Thinking that Jose can no longer chase him, Guillermo continues his search for Tomas and Ellie. On the other side, Ellie and Tomas finally arrive at a fairly high place. There, Ellie accidentally sees the plant she has been looking for all this time for her research. The plant grows among the rocks. But in a situation like that, the discovery no longer feels important to her. Ellie still has to keep walking under Tomas's watch. To continue their journey, they have to climb a large, steep rock. That path is the only route that can take them to their destination. Ellie has no choice but to follow Tomas. After struggling to climb, they finally make it to the top of the hill. Night begins to fall. They decide to rest there and light a campfire to stay warm. In the calm of the night, they start sharing stories about their lives. Tomas says that he's not actually a bad person. He got trapped in a bad situation because his sibling once betrayed him, which led him into dangerous matters. Ellie then talks about her past. She still carries guilt over her sibling's death, which happened because of her mistake when she was riding a motorcycle and ran a red light. After that conversation, they decide to sleep because the journey has to continue the next day. Elsewhere, Alex keeps searching for her father, who still hasn't come home. Her search eventually leads her to Jose's car. She immediately checks the area around it. Near that location, Alex finds an ID belonging to her father. While searching, she suddenly hears Jose's voice coming from the ravine. She immediately moves toward the source of the sound. It turns out Jose is still alive. He fell into the ravine but managed to survive. He then asks Alex to get a rope from the car so he can be pulled up.
I need you to get back as fast.
At the same time, Ellie secretly tries to loosen the ties on her hands. After managing to loosen them a bit, she takes a lighter that she can use if she gets a chance to escape. The next day, Jose finally manages to get out of the ravine where he fell. Even though his body still hurts, he doesn't want to waste time. He immediately tells Alex to go find help from the police. Meanwhile, Jose decides to go back to chasing Guillermo, who has already left. After talking for a bit, they part ways and carry out their own tasks. Elsewhere, Ellie finally manages to escape from Tomas's watch. She quickly walks away while trying to find someone who can help her get out of that dangerous situation. But her luck isn't very good. Instead of meeting someone who can help, she ends up running into Guillermo. Guillermo immediately chases Ellie because he thinks she is the pilot who ran off with his drug package. Ellie is forced to run to save herself. After a brief chase, Ellie runs into Tomas again. This time, the pilot's attitude looks different. Tomas actually tells Ellie to leave right away. He doesn't want her to keep getting involved in a problem that isn't her business. Not long after, Tomas and Guillermo finally meet. Tomas tries to talk to Guillermo and asks him not to kill or hurt Ellie. He explains that Ellie is just an ordinary person who has nothing to do with their business. But Guillermo doesn't care about that explanation. He still wants to kill Ellie because he doesn't want any outsider knowing about his business. Seeing the situation getting more dangerous, Tomas immediately points his gun at Guillermo and forces him to let Ellie go. Guillermo then pretends to agree. Seeing that, Tomas lowers his gun. Unfortunately, Guillermo was only pretending. As soon as he gets the chance, he shoots Tomas, killing him on the spot. Ellie, who sees that, immediately panics and runs away. While running, she sees Alex's motorcycle near the area. She immediately worries that Guillermo might also kill Alex. Ellie then picks up a rock and plans to throw it at Guillermo to distract him. But before she can do anything, Guillermo notices her presence and shoots her, injuring her. Alex, who sees Guillermo off guard, immediately takes the chance. She pushes Guillermo and quickly helps Ellie escape from the place. Not long after, Jose runs into Guillermo again. They get into a shootout, but Guillermo chooses to retreat and gets into his car to chase Ellie and Alex, who have already escaped. While trying to escape using Alex's motorcycle, Ellie's condition gets worse because of the gunshot wound she suffered. Not long after, she falls off the motorcycle because she can't handle the pain. That gives Guillermo the chance to catch up with them. He immediately tries to kill Alex first. Seeing the situation getting more dangerous, Ellie tries to do something. She takes the drug package that Guillermo is carrying, then pours gasoline on it. After that, she immediately lights it on fire, causing the package to burn. Guillermo, seeing that, immediately panics and tries to put out the fire, but the flames only grow bigger and eventually burn him as well. Not long after, Jose arrives at the location and immediately secures the situation. After all those events, the story ends.